Hi guys, this is Jen with Unchained Crochet. Coming at you with my best bud for life right here, Trish. Trish is visiting today and she is going to start the larger than life shawl. And I'll be starting the tutorial videos for those sometime this evening for that one. So since we're talking about the larger than life shawl, me and Trish are going to have a little chat. This video is not for kids. I want to state that clearly, not for kids. Keep it clean, but the topic could be misconstrued as being for kids, and it's so not. But we're going to talk about how old we were when we met. Trish is a year older than me, and her mom babysat me from the ages of 5 to 10, only because I insisted to my mom that I was old enough to watch myself. I just wanted to be a little Miss Independent. So I want to talk some about her mom, how great she was, and being the fifth wheel of her family. There was 4 girls, her and her 3 sisters, and then there was me. And it was literally my second family, and her mom Terry is passed now. It's been 20 years and we still miss her dearly. But I was 5 when your mom started babysitting me. I think we had met before then and started to become friends. It's hard to remember back that far, like when we first really met. But I know my family moved into the court before I was born. I think it was 1969 our house was built. And then I was born in 73. Do you know what year? It might have been 71 when our house was built. I don't know.
We moved, our house was done it was 72.
72, and you're going to have to speak up louder. It's okay. Your house was done in 72?
Yes.
So yeah, ours was probably 71. Dad, there was something going on with, my dad was a 3-tour Vietnam vet, and he was, pretty fresh from being out of the Marines. He did 3 tours voluntarily, and I think they had gotten some kind of VA financing for the loan, some kind of special deal similar to what they do today. So
my dad was in the Navy.
Yeah, I was born in 73 and you were born in 72, and our birthdays are like a year and almost a month apart. Is that right?
Yeah.
You were born in April.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in March. So we were pretty close in age, and we just grew up together. I tell you, it's been a lifelong journey. And even though, like, I moved away, like where I lived almost 2 hours away, and, we still, even though we didn't hang out for a few years, and it's happened sporadically throughout our life, we never had any fallouts. No. But a true friend sticks with you through everything, and you can just pick up where you left off if you don't see each other for a long time. So that's how our friendship's been. Tried and true. Tried and true.
That's right.
So I know if I ever need anything, I can go to Trish and, pray together, go to church together, stitch together. And I just know that she, God willing, will always be there. Same thing with me.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't you cry. I see your eye tearing up. Since we're talking about larger than life, we just wanted to review some of the highlights of our life together and what life was like when we were younger. Terry, Trisha's mom, was the leader of our Girl Scout troop. Terry taught me so much as a kid. I still remember her hugs and the way she smelled, her perfume, and how warm her hugs were. And one time when we were little, she told us to hold our hand like that. And she said she was going to read our palm, And she said, "Oh, yes, you have an M there. That means you're going to be married." We all have an M.
I got an M. I'm married.
We're married. But, yeah, she said, "Oh, yes, you have an M there, and that means you're going to get married." And I was just so excited to hear that. Like, all I ever wanted to be growing up, I think it was Terry's influence, and my mom too, of course. But, Terry had a way about her. She was a stay-at-home mom and made a lot of her own, like, canned pickles and stuff. And did Shackley, and I loved the Shackley bars that she would get.
Yes.
Some of the things she did for the kids that were preventative, I was just like, whoa. They had to take the liquid vitamin E. It was kept in the refrigerator, and so when I was there, she would encourage me to take the vitamin E, and I'd be like, choke it down. A spoonful a day. And when they were sick, and Terry swabbed my throat for me too one time, but she would take a big thing of like a cotton strip and twirl it around a long skewer type thing and twirl it, and then she would dip it in iodine. Wasn't it iodine?
Yes.
And swab our throats. And I mean, you were just gagging, and I was just like, oh man. But it did help us get better. But that was one of her home remedies. So I think that's probably why I'm such a big believer in home remedies. If you find one that works, I have two things when I have a cold coming on. Other than rest is the biggest one. Just let yourself sleep if you feel like you're starting to get the flu or a cold. My other one is honey and onion syrup. My middle daughter still makes that. You just dice up an onion and put some honey on top of it and let it drizzle over the diced up onion. Then you let it sit for several hours. You can put it in the refrigerator and let it chill, and it'll draw out the onion juice, which has lots of sulfur in it. And sulfur is good for the body, especially natural sulfur from foods. So that's what the onion has. And then the honey has microbiotics or whatever you call it, microbes, good ones. And then you take a tablespoon of that a day, or you can take two. Do not give it to babies. Babies are not supposed to have honey. So that stuff works good. And here past several years, since I first tried this, this is my go-to now though. I use Mucinex DM, the tablets. You have to drink 6 to 8 ounces of water with it. And then I also use the Nasacort if I have sinus congestion. So the Nasacort clears out because of the glucocorticoid in it. It's like cortisone, and it will take the inflammation in your sinuses down and therefore release the mucus. The mucus is thin from the Mucinex, and so that just works it all out. Make sure pee smells so funky though. So funky on the pee. It's just, ugh. So I hate taking that because of it, but it's what works the fastest. So if I do that for the first couple of days, I'm starting to feel like I'm getting anything. I'll do that for 2 days and I'll be fine most of the time. So back to Terry. Terry did our Girl Scout troop. She also did what we called Whirly Birds. It was like children's church, but it was on Wednesday nights at Center Friends Community Church. Is it Quaker?
It's an old Quaker church.
It's an old Quaker church, and they have a new building now, and it's nice to go visit there. Even though it's not the building that Terry took us to, it still warms my heart, and I think of her every time we go and visit. So Terry taught me the golden rule. She was the first one to verbally teach me the golden rule, other than by example. And do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I did my little Girl Scout promise to Terry when I was like 5 and got into the brownies. And I felt like, I was doing something so special, and it was very special. And then we went camping. You remember what your mom used to do, hanging the stuff in the trees?
Yes.
You remember? You tell us about it.
Let's see. She would fill these bags up with breakfast food, whether it be granola bars.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
You keep going.
She also made like a monkey bread too, but these were where she'd hang up that we would go to have breakfast. Bananas in them, oranges in them, lots of fruit. Trying to remember what else was in them. Lots of good stuff, healthy stuff that could be hung out in the trees for us to go get. And so it was fun to go out on the adventures in the wood to find our food like we were hunting, but per se not hunting. But here comes Jenny.
Okay. Sorry, I had someone at the door. Trisha's husband, Brian, her wonderful hubby. Yeah, so Terry made us go out and hunt for the food. Like, it was hung in the trees, you know, so she made us work for our breakfast. And then you get it, and it's like all this all natural stuff, and you're like, I want my Fruit Loops, I want my Cheerios.
Jenny wanted real food.
I wanted all the junky cereals that my mom would get us. My Captain Crunch. What's happening, Captain? So, but Terry was such a treat and such a lovely person. Everywhere she went, she made friends. She did not know a stranger. She was kind to everyone. Very strict with the girls at times. Like, when they got in trouble, I was always afraid I would be in trouble too. Anything else about your mom you want to add?
No, she was a wonderful lady.
She got into quilting toward the end of her life. And when she passed, she had passed from having a blood clot. She had a stroke and had a clot on her brainstem. So, you know, she was on life support briefly and then gone. So it was a very painful time. Trish was pregnant with her first child and 6 months pregnant. So it was...
She knew I was having a baby girl, though. So I was very happy to know that she knew I was having Violet.
I have a theory, though. Like, my dad didn't get to see my youngest get married. And didn't get to see my oldest get married. He's seen the middle daughter get married. And my theory is that, you know, they get to see the good things that happen with their family when they go to heaven, that they can still see and know. Yes. I feel like, you know, why would God not let them, you know? So to share in the joyous things and to know that everything's going to be okay. So even when bad things happen to us, it all is for a reason, though we don't always understand it. So when we were kids growing up in the 80s, 2 doors down from me and 3 doors down from Trish. So right between us, Trish lived in the cul-de-sac and I lived the second house into the court. So that house, there was a pervert that had moved in, and we all found out about it, and a convicted child molester. And me and Trish used to ride our bikes. I don't know if y'all remember that show called Chips, California Highway Patrol. We loved watching that show. And so we would ride our bikes around the court all the time. And when he moved in and we found out, and he was kind of like stalking us and staring at us all the time. You couldn't do anything playing outside the whole neighborhood without him staring and trying to lure you in, like the Pied Piper, playing his harmonica, showing us his cut off finger. It was just weird. And anyway, I won't get into all the details of his stalking, but Trish and I would ride our bikes and play like we were Chips, Highway Patrol. And the guy had come from California. That's where he had been convicted. And I had a little Snoopy Woodstock radio. It was yellow and kind of boxy. I taped it onto the handlebars of my bike. And we would shout over our shoulders to each other, "We're going to get him, we're going to get him." And I would pretend that my Snoopy radio was a CB. "We're going to get him, Trish, get him, Jenny, get him." But we were just always so mad, you know, at the fact that, you know, that guy and that he had moved in. So anyway, then there was the bullying. The 80s, there was so much bullying. Back then, you know, we used to, just for fun, call each other retards and retarded, and which that mentally retarded is still a medical terminology. But I like the term mentally impaired as opposed to retarded, as do most people, I believe. I think retarded got such a stigma because that's what people made it. It went from being a diagnosis to a stigma. And it kind of segregated people in a way. Me and my brother, we would run after my mom in the store and act like we were mentally impaired. And say, "Mom, don't leave us. Mom, don't leave us." And she would get so embarrassed and say, "You two stop it. You two stop it." You know, we were young, but, you know, the bullying was off the hook sometimes, you know, and the Ryan White thing, Ryan White had HIV from hemophiliac blood transfusions, and it was just like, and then everybody calling everybody gay and gay wad, and I mean, it was just, it's sad to look back on, the way that we treated each other, and I'm not a leftist, like, never say anything snide about someone, but get to know someone and not judge a book by its cover kind of deal. We're all different. God makes us all different, and accept each other with love, So that's what Terry taught me, and it took a while for it to stick, as I grew up. But Terry was larger than life. I'll tell you what. I should have called this the Terry Shawl. So the bullying was ridiculous, and the boys were so mean. Winter of '78, when the '78 snow blizzard came, they had plowed our court, and when the plow came in, they pushed the snow all to this side of the cul-de-sac. It was on each side of Trisha's house, and because she lived smack dab in the center of the cul-de-sac. And so we had these big plow made forts, and we had a snowball fight. And the boy I had a crush on that lived right next door to me, he was on the other team. And it seems like all the mean boys were on that team, yes. And me and your sisters. I don't know if any other girls were on our side. We had a snowball fight. Well, Kevin, the little boy that lived next to me, I had such a huge crush on him. And he had packed this snowball. He's a couple years older than me. Packed this snowball and hit me in the eye with it. And it hurt so bad because he had packed ice in it. So mean. But you know what? We live to tell about it. We don't whine about every little thing that people do anymore. It made us tougher. It made us resilient. And made us learn to be overcomers. So if you don't face any adversity in life, you have... don't develop those skills as quickly or as easily. So we all do face things in life, but when you're younger, and that's what I worry about with this younger generation. I don't know if you do, but everybody gets a trophy deal. That's just like a participation trophy is one thing, but for everybody to get a trophy, just for a game, I mean, that's just silliness to me. And you should play your sport because you love the sport, not because you're going to get a trophy. So, what was your worst bullying experience?
I just always had to protect my sister, Joanna.
Always protecting Joanna.
At the bus stop, every day she was being called names. My whole side of the family's heavy set. She was very big for her age. And every day he picked on her. Every day called her names, made her cry. And so I always had to deal with him. I think I was called semi-bully back in the day. I was bad in school and called some people four eyes because they were wearing glasses, and here I'm wearing glasses.
So and I have some too.
Comes back at you.
We both have four eyes.
I know.
We're four-eyed.
I got in trouble with that in school. I remember that.
Yep.
But then
now glasses are stylish. So, of course, we have nicer glasses. I remember, I think I already told about this. Do you remember when the Sally Jesse Raphael glasses were in style? Yeah, I wanted a pair of those. So, of course, I went for an eye exam. Turned out I had astigma for real, and I was farsighted, but I faked some of my exam because my mom said that if I needed glasses, that she would let me get the new color contacts that were out, and I wanted blue eyes. So bad, I wanted blue eyes. I thought brown hair and blue eyes was so pretty, and I didn't like my brown eyes. So I made doubly sure that I needed some glasses. And she got me those $300 contacts. I think they were. I wore them a couple days to school. They were hard to get in. And then, what do you know? I stopped wearing them because I couldn't see. And they shriveled up to little nothings. I mean, they just kept getting curlier and curlier. And then they were all hard and dried up in the little container. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, everything was about looks back then. That's how I feel. And we're still, there's still a little vanity. for us. I mean, it was with anybody. A little vanity is normal. It's human. But it seems to me like, I don't know. I feel like in many ways, our society is more vain than we were in the 80s. But I mean, you look at the 50s and the little updos they did and their little beehive hairdos, you know, it's just being a woman. And I do my makeup because it makes me feel awake and it makes me feel feminine. If I don't, I feel like I look more and more like my dad, especially the older I get. One time I scared myself getting up out of bed. past the vanity and looked in the mirror on my way to the bathroom closet, and oh boy, I was moaning and groaning getting up and having trouble getting going, and this was like almost 10 years ago. And I was like, I caught a look at myself in the mirror and I looked just like my dad. I was just like, oh no, oh no. So, you know, I want to look like my mom when she was younger. My mom was so beautiful, still is.
You look beautiful, Jenny.
Thank you, Trishy. You do too.
No makeup for me, though. I don't wear makeup.
Trish doesn't wear makeup. She's never worn makeup, and she's never really needed it. Like, she's just always been an all-natural girl. I remember putting on makeup when we were kids. Joy and I did her makeup.
I'm sensitive to it, so
yeah,
I break out. I haven't found any that works well, and I just give up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, life's about more than makeup. It's about more than the material things. The reason I like doing my YouTube channel is it brings us all together, you know, and you have that fellowship. And I love our crochet community on YouTube. It is so great. We all work together and cheer each other on and share our projects, share our stories, and even our troubles from time to time. So it's really great. And I appreciate all of y'all out there. But yeah, the bullying seems to have gotten, I would say bullying these days with kids, it's gotten to be younger and younger ages that do it, you know. Little boys carrying guns into school. I mean, I'm not anti-gun, but, you know, I think the responsibility at such young ages really lies with the parent, you know. Lock your, and I won't say a cuss word right now, but lock your stuff up. Be accountable, be responsible, think ahead of what your child might do. And I think that it seems to me there's such a wide divide between parents who helicopter parent and almost, there's some that almost worship their kids, you know, you know what I mean? Taking photos all the time and just, all they do is talk about their kids, and they're absorbed into their kids, and they lose some of their own identity in that for a while. And then there's parents who don't pay enough attention to their kids. So those kids are going to find that attention elsewhere. Growing up with an absentee father, or an emotionally absent father, you know, can cause girls to be promiscuous. You know, and absentee mothers, you know, hopefully there's one parent with a stable head on their shoulders. We all go through things in our life and things change, you know. Sometimes there's a buildup in your personality and in your growth, and then sometimes there's a cutting back for a while to where you're slacking, and then you regrow again and regenerate again. And I feel like that's just life. It's about regeneration and degeneration, you know, and that's how our journey through life is. And it's just natural because you change and grow as a person. The core of who you are doesn't change so much, but as you learn to face truths about ourselves, for me, that's been the case. You learn to deal better with things that come your way. So, and I think Trisha's mom, was a very good teacher of that. Yeah. And being a friend no matter what, Trish got that from her. She sure did. I love you.
Thank you. I love you too.
So, all right. We're going to go on to talking about the crochet, because big reason why we're all here. I'll talk about what I'm wearing real quick. This, I think, was the pattern. I don't know. I think it might be a bow end pattern. I'm not sure, guys. It's been a while since I made it. But it's poncho. I love the color. It's heathered. It is, I think it's Lion Brand Homeland. I think it's a bow end pattern. Not sure if they're still around, but, and then I went around the neck here with a little fillet because I decided the neck was a little big. It's been a while since I made this one.
How old is it?
I don't even know what I did at the edge, but did something, little scallop to it. I think Trish asked me a bad question.
I have not seen her in it, so I like it.
There isn't a bad question, but I don't know how old it is. And this is like one of the first 1 or 2 times I've worn it. I just found it in my stuff, and I had in a box in my closet yesterday. So I love it, and now I'm thinking now, why didn't I wear this already? I just keep making more and more stuff, and so this is getting hung up on one of my C-hooks. I'm hanging all my creations on in the bedroom. I'm going to have to add some more C-hooks because I'm getting more and more and more stuff done. But I highly recommend the C-hooks. Some people call them teacup hooks. You can just grab it, hook it on there. Comes off easy. I haven't had anything get snagged on those. And you can hang 2 or 3 items on top of each other on them. So one day I may show my wall in the bedroom where I've got all my crochet items, because I wear the stuff near daily now. Even to work, I'll throw something over my scrubs. So I'm trying to keep my reading glasses off. So I made big notes for myself here for us for the show. But my oldest told me, oh, and what I taught my oldest was, if somebody is mean to you, be nice to them back. And I would repeat it with her. She would repeat it to me. Now, Beth, if someone's mean to you, what do? And she said, I know, be nice to them back. And I say, and why? Because that's the way to win their heart. So I was very much Terry-like when she was little. And she struggled a lot with teasing in school. One day they had a bad hair day. Like it was bad hair day at school. And so they were supposed to come with bad hair. And so I teased Beth's hair out. It looked like a rat's nest and crazy like, and it was really fun looking. But she was either I think she was in kindergarten. And I'm sure Beth will tell you all about this if you were to ask her. She came home crying. She was the only one that did it. She was the only one that came home with her bad hair day, and it was a bad day for her. She got teased so much. But I'll tell you what, that girl, Beth, is tough as nails, and she don't put up with anything from anybody. And she'll stand up for her sisters and her mama and her dad just like that. So don't mess with us. Okay, so the larger than life shawl is just such a fitting garment to talk about today. I'm going to be starting the tutorials on this today. I'm going to teach Trish how to do it, and then I'm going to do a tutorial video later. But it's such a fitting garment for today, because Trish said right away when she seen my video with my shawl dancing video with it on.
Loved it.
I got the copyright strike or whatever restriction from YouTube on that debut of the larger than life shawl, because it had I Need a Hero song. I was dancing to it. And I was like, I'm keeping it up. I don't care. When I get monetized, they can have the money from that. So, you know, was it Bonnie Tyler? She can have it. You know, I'll support our 80s artists too. So right. I was just like, I'm not taking it down. It's too funny. But anyway, it's just fitting, because Trish said right away, I want to make the larger than life wrap, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll teach you. So, you know, now we're talking about old times, and our friendship's been larger than life. And her mom Terry was larger than life, and you know, and we're talking about lifelong friendship. So very fitting project for Trish to start. So Trisha's going to try this on. We're going to talk about fit. It really is a shawl, but us bigger busted girls and big girls in general, we need more ample items that look attractive on us. So she's going to try this on and feel it, how it swings around when it's on her. It's a 3/4 shawl. And
no dancing for me, though.
Yeah,
no dancing for me.
Y'all know if you've watched any of my other videos, y'all know I've been whining and whining about my left knee. I had same-day knee surgery, just cleaned up a meniscus tear that I'd had for 18 months, almost 2 years now. And then he also cut a capsule so my kneecap wouldn't go all the way to the outside when it's bent, because it was deranged. That's what the doctor had called my left knee, was deranged. I am deranged. So Trisha's going to have a try on, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more. Can you stand?
Nice, yes.
Let me help you if you need help. Trish had a bilateral knee replacement about a month and a half apart. I know they moved to the date for your second
and November.
one. And she has RA, so it's been really rough on her. Keep her in your prayers.
Do I need to go back?
Yeah, you can step back if you want. Be careful.
Okay.
Don't do it if you feel uncomfortable doing it. I don't want you to fall. Trish, that is beautiful on you.
I love it.
I love the colors on you. So it really extends below the bum. Step that way just a bit. Yeah, it's covering her tushy really good. Covering Trishy's tushy. Trishy's tushy. You okay?
Yep.
All right. So why I did it 3/4 is because I didn't want a shawl that wasn't going to wrap around me well. So I wanted it to be more of a wrap than a shawl. So you've got the 2 corners in the front and then the 2 corners in the back. And this is just 2x2 front post, back post ribbing, double crochet ribbing. And you can just pick out one of the colors. This is Red Heart Roll With It Melange. It's getting harder and harder to find. I found my 3rd skein that I ended up needing because it is such a large garment. I found it on eBay for about the same price, full price in the store. So she is going to use, are you going to use this that I gave you?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll get out of
Trish
your way.
didn't have any yarn that she thought she wanted to use for it. So I have got, I believe, almost 4 skeins of each of these, and they're Red Heart. I got these on clearance last April, I think, whenever Hobby Lobby had their big sale. $1.54. It's the Red Heart. All the names are colored. Red Heart Colorscape. All the names are covered. So $1.54. Normal price at Hobby Lobby is $6. And it has the same twist as the Melange. It's a single ply, almost roving like, and has a really nice hand to it. I did use a little bit of this one here to make a liner for the top of my Gramercy cart so that things won't fall through. So that was a custom fit thing, and it works great and looks great. So
how many did you use?
And I actually mixed this one and this one, I think, or this one, and now I don't know, I think I might have used that one. One of these two I mixed with that teal for the liner of my Gramercy cart. How much of what?
How much yarn did you use to make this?
The body of it?
Mm-hmm.
It was 3 skeins of the Red Heart Roll With It. I got plenty of this for you though, because I think I have almost 4 of each. So should be plenty. If not, you can always mix in something else. So we're probably going to set her up to do, I'm going to figure out the math if she likes the length of this one.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll figure out the rows, and she'll do some of this one alternated with some of that one. So I think they'll mix quite nicely, and it'll be kind of gradient type. And if there's any other colors in there, you can pick out some more to go with it. The border That exact teal is not in this, but you could get by with that. I think I have, yeah, I have some more of that. Boy, I'm starting to stutter. I've been talking too long. So that is it for this video. I'm going to get Trish started. We're going to have our Girls' Day. Yay. And her hubby's here. My hubby's in bed because he worked last night. But we'll all get to visit when he gets up. And her hubby's here. So with both of us having bummed up knees, we're going to get taken care of. Bye, guys. Have a great day.